In this session, we will discuss some basic CSS3 properties and new tools. I'm Shamir, front-end developer in DBG. We can go through some of the important features in CSS3. Next. There are flexbox, multi-column layout, RGBA, shadows, gradient, and border image. And the first one is flexbox. What is flexbox? Flexbox is a CSS set of CSS property that allow to create flexible layout, and it help us to make flexible columns. See, there is display flex. That is a new property of display. Then let's see how it's work. This flex box, we are playing this display flex. Then we change the flex direction row to column. Then we can arrange the column wise. Then we change the flex item to flex align self to flex start. Then the content wise it's going down and just scroll down like this. And we can change flex end. Then we can align like this. Stretch. No, let's stretch.
So this is just a new CSS property that can be assigned to a div or any element, and right?
Yeah.
And whatever is inside that, it will get automatically adjusted.
Yeah, align. This as per the content, the blocks are aligned. So the next.
What happens is previously we were having only display block, inline block, and stuff like that, and creating equal height columns was a bit of a tedious process. And with the help of this, yeah, this is what we can have. And the property is display flex. And sorry, yeah, it's there.
Display inline, display block, display none. Like that, a new feature is the display flex. And we can say that direction row
or column.
So based on that, whatever comes within that container will get.
Yeah. Actually, now we are using some grid systems like Bootstrap grids or something like that. With the help of this flexible column layout, flex display flex, it's simple to create a grid system.
Okay, it will be have better control over this.
Yeah, definitely with a bit of code.
Okay, just a line of code, display flex, and you are mentioning direction. So whatever containers are within that outer box will get aligned based on.
Next one. So the next one is multi-column layout.
So did we didn't get flex boxes? It is just a new property, right?
Yeah. The next one is multi-column layout. Previously, we were using multiple div to the align multiple div tag to align the columns. Now we can use we can define multiple column in single div. Here the column count. We can here we can mention the number of column and then the gap of the column, then plus the rule. Let's see how it's work. Yeah, this one. See, these are the columns. We mentioned there column number 3, then this is 3, then the dotted block for the rule. These are the rules. Then the gap of the column is this one.
Okay, so it is just like a news portal. That is, when we are creating a news portal, the content has to be divided into 3 columns. Previously, we were doing like prepared divs, and that is content is placed inside each div.
Each divs.
If you have a look at that code, it's just only one
Yeah,
div,
content copied in one div.
and we have specified the column count 3.
Okay.
And that column row 2 with the dotted black is nothing green. This.
Okay, so previously, that is when the content becomes dynamic, we were facing difficulty. That is how much content should be shown in the first column and the second column. So I hope that this will solve that issue.
Yeah.
So any div span.
Yeah, div span, any HTML element we can apply this.
Okay.
And the next one is RGBA. This for color transparency. Here the RGBA are red, green, blue colors, and the last one is the transparency, that produces the transparency that we can apply in color and the background color. See, one more. Point one. Point one.
That color is red. If I specify something like this.
This is the transparency is
Next one,
working.
control over the alpha layer. One thing here is previously for transparency we were using opacity, and what actually the difference between this alpha layer and opacity is that opacity will be working on the child nodes also. If I have a parent div and specified an opacity of 0.5 or something, all the nodes contained within will also get affected. But with this, it will not be like that. Only that particular node will get affected. It's the
So we can apply inside the text also. Color. Now the text also transparent.
Okay, previously we were using images for
Yeah,
these
PNG images for this.
but right now it can be CSS properties.
The next one is shadow. This shadow property we can implement shadow for any element. There's the text shadow and the box shadow. These are same, like these two values for horizontal and vertical length of the shadow, and this for the blur value, and this is the color of the shadow. See the example. See. Yeah. Change it. Great. I don't know. Red note. So the shadow is changed into red. Then the text also we can change green. See. So this is the shadow property. The next one is
Shadow. But previously there was no shadow property in CSS.
yeah there, but we can
actually in CSS2 we had that text shadow, but no box shadow.
So next one is gradient. CS provides us two type of gradients, the linear and the radial. The radial goes, sorry, the linear goes left, right, top, bottom, and the diagonal, and this radial is the centralized. See here the linear and the radial. First, These are the colors, not image. This red and blue. Change to green. This is yellow. Previously we were using images for this gradient. Now we can use in the CSS3. Then the next one is border image. Border image, we can use images as borders. And we can use here color changer. Image stretch want to round up. We can use two types, stretch and round. Round, then the image take fully like this. Then the stretch, just selecting the stretch area. So this border image border property. So this, okay. Anyway. So these are the new properties in CSS3. So you have any questions? So let's have a recap. Flexbox for flexible layout, and the second one multi-column layout for column. Then third one RGBA color for background transparency, and next shadow for the shadow for an element. Next gradient for background. So concluding my session. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Shamir. So I think that's what we were able to discuss on this Coffee DBG, because it is just an entry level on HTML5 and CSS3, and we will be having a couple more upcoming sessions where we discuss. We plan to discuss about how to have a performance optimized website and many other advanced features of HTML5 and CSS3. So hope this. I think all the companies are in Onam celebrations, and today actually there were around 50 or 55 registrations, but I can see only less than 10 participants. Okay, that's fine. But we also have this program live, so if some of your friends had missed this session, you can surely tell them to watch our live video. And Coffee DBG is also the space to make friends, to know people who are working on the same domain. If you have some questions in the sections that you work on, that is to clarify or to get some solutions, you can feel free to ask that. And even if we are, we do not tell that we know everything, but we will try to research and get you the answers for that. So is there anything that you would like to discuss? So was this session useful? Okay. So do you want to have a whole recap of what we discussed today? Just, is there someone? So initially we just started with a tech bites where we discussed about some latest advancements that happen, or something that is about to get released. Windows 9 is planned to be released, or C++ 14 that is about to come, and some wearable devices or some new gadgets. Then what did we discuss? Then there was transparent. Then transparent solar panels.
HTML5 is a cross-platform language. So if I use a source code and create a website for PC browsers, it will be automatically synchronized for mobile browsers.
That is, you mean whether it will be responsive? Responsive designs, that is something that we have to do in CSS. That is HTML5 help us to do it easily.
If I am right, you asked about once I create a website in HTML, if it works in cross device. Yeah, definitely it will work. Yeah, in any device, because HTML is rendered through browsers. And if you want something like a responsive website, then we have to work on CSS. And with the help of CSS media queries, we can make cross what different screen sizes. These this browser this website will respond to different screen sizes. Okay, we have actually I'm not sure whether you have a look on our website digitalbrandgroup.com. Just have a look. It's a responsive one.
Actually, that website got Shiraz was did that website and got different awards, CSS awards, and what was the last award? Web Design Firms Award. Yeah. Okay. So responsive design is just like that CSS3 introduces media queries, right? It helps us to identify what browser it is queried from, and then we can decide which set of HTML should be rendered in that browser. It is not like it will automatically. That is, if we develop a bigger.
We get what actually media query does is it knows the browser's viewport size from where. Okay, for example, if it's a retina display, if its viewport size is around 1000 or 1200, and we can give a special set of CSS for these particular uh, constraints. That what make media queries.
So to build a responsive website, we actually have to design it for each and every viewport size, and then slice it and use this media query to load this thing. That is, hopefully we will have a session on responsive design in future in within next couple of coffee DBGs.
This is the basis. This is a tri-series session, and this is the starting one, and we'll be dealing with responsive websites, bootstrap, and stuff like that. And surely you have to come and attend that.
Okay. So after Tech Bytes, we just went through, what was it? What was the first session? Evolution, and we just saw that Tim Berners-Lee, he was the one who thought about having websites. That is something that can be accessed from home or some other places. Then we went through the history, how. So similarly, we went through the JavaScript history last time. That is JavaScript. Hope you know that is it is ECMA script right now, right? And initially it was known as Mocha. The first version, it was developed for Netscape Navigator. So all those things also we discussed in the previous sessions. As most of you missed the previous session, I just gave that information. So similarly, we went through the HTML and history, and we identified that newer version of HTML is nothing else, just introduction of some new tag. We just need to identify that tag and use it. Initially, there was no position absolute or that is in. For example, image tag itself was not there initially. That is why all the websites in the initial period was just some hypertext or some text content. Then once the image tag got introduced, it is some text content, and I will have a bigger image there because it just has a alt property, or it doesn't have any other tags like what is the size or. And finally, on HTML5, we got the video tag. Previously, we didn't have the video tag. So newer version of HTML is just simple, some new tags, and we should be able to adapt to the changes easily. So we do not have to fear the new version of HTML. And after the evolution, we went through the browser architecture, where we discussed that is how a website get queried, and what actually happens after somebody types in www.google.com. It will, that is as he said, it will go to the DNS server and identify what is the IP address of that, and then hop to that server. And in that server, actually there is someone who is listening to that port 80. That is a web server. It can be Apache. So web server, receive that request, check it in the server whether it is available in that folder, So HTTP or web server will have a configuration file, something called httpd.conf, where it is mentioned that this, if the request is coming in this way, go to this folder and get a default file .html or index.html, something default. And if it is a particular .php file or something, just get it. And if it is a PHP, use PHP engine, pass it, generate HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and send it back. That is what it is doing. Any script, server-side scripting, what it does is it just generate HTML, JavaScript, CSS, etc. and along with the resources, images, if there is something, all those resources are sent back to the requested client or requested browser. And we came to we looked over how actually it get displayed, and this, it is browser's responsibility to render it and show it to the user. And browser has different sections, that is the UAE element and the rendering engine and all those things. We went through that, right? Then we went through the HTML properties, or that is what is new in HTML. Fine. And then CSS3, some new stuff like flex. So no questions? Okay. And we have a Facebook page, that is, if you are not available in that Facebook page, you can
used in HTML5 and some new elements. HTML5 basically contains of the new tags and elements and JavaScripts mostly.
Yeah, JavaScript
APIs.
There are a lot of JavaScript APIs like that geolocation. We have a geolocation API, and if you are a mobile developer, then it have a battery status API, a vibrator API, and that geolocation can also be used for mobile developers. And there are lots and lots of APIs.
And what actually this JavaScript does is just JavaScript uses an API of DOM or the browser, that is DOM element API, and try to manipulate, that is, or move this from that, etc., etc. And this DOM manipulation happens using JavaScript because JavaScript uses an API of that DOM, and it is different for each individual browser. So that is the reason why JavaScript doesn't work on different, doesn't work on all the browsers in the same way. There is some browsers, they might be having some bugs in their DOM API, and due to that reason it might not work. Okay, so I think that's all for the, and Coffee DBG is also for making friends, so you can just network with each other and understand, and if there is any questions, you can surely contact us. Okay, thank you.